Okay, so this is Unit 1, Quadratic Relations, Lesson 1, and this is the warm-up. This warm-up is just to practice and to refresh your memory on how to plot points on a graph. So given a table of values. In this example, we have our table of values here, our x's and our y values. So having a table of values essentially gives you points that you can take and plot onto a graph. So our first set of points that we have here is the -2 and -3. So these two values here create our first point. The x is always first and the y is always second in your points. Remember that on your graph, your x values are always the horizontal axis and your y values are always the vertical axis. So when we go to plot our points, -2 and -3, we always start with our x value first. So on our graph, where you start is right here in the middle, and this is considered the origin, and it is at 0, 0, at point 0, 0. So for us to plot our first point, -2 and -3, we start here at the origin and we move along the x-axis first. Our x value is -2, so we move 2 values to the left. So right here is our -2. Next, we have a y value of -3, so we move down 3 values, 1, 2, 3, and now this is where our first point is. This is our -2, -3. Now we go and plot our next point. So our next point is -1, -1. So we put it into our point notation. And again, we start back at 0, 0, and we plot our x first. So we go to -1, and then our y value is also -1. So we move down another value, so here, and that is -1, -1. Our next point here is 0, 1. Now, we always start at the 0, 0, so for our x value, since our x value is 0, we do not move from this point on the x-axis, and then we move to our y, and it's +1, so we move up 1. I'm actually going to change this point to be red, because that's not part of our equation there. Okay, now go to the next value, which is 1, 3. So again, we start at our origin. Our x value is 1, so we move over 1 and then up 3 since our y value is 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that point is 1, 3. This point is 0, 1. And our last point here is 2, 5. So again, we start here at 0, 0. We move over 2, 1, 2, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this point is 2, 5. From here, we have a set of points, our blue points here, that come from our table of values. As you can see, if you connect the points, what we have is a straight line. Now, our table of values only has these amount of points, but a relation will continue on, and that's why we use the arrows to demonstrate that the line will continue on this way, and the line will also continue on upwards as well. So, if you can recall, a straight line is called a linear function. So, a straight line is called a linear function. And the general equation of a linear function is usually in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay,